Hi everyone, and welcome to this introductory video for Photoshop for Creative Cloud. These videos are designed to support the in-class portion of MKTG25586. This video will introduce you to the Photoshop interface, some minor differences between Mac and PC, and the different toolbars available to you in Photoshop. Let's first begin by opening the program. Click Start in the bottom left of your screen, click All Programs, and locate Adobe Photoshop from the list of programs installed on your computer. When you click and launch Adobe Photoshop for the first time, you may notice that it takes substantially longer to launch the very first time. First, let's take a look at the menu bar across the top. The menu bar is this area here: File, Edit, Image, Layer, and so on. This area here is not unlike the other menu bars and other programs that you may be more familiar with. It allows you to control the appearance of the environment, it allows you to set your preferences in your interface, and also get help where you need it. One difference between the Mac and PC menu bar is that the PC allows you to select your preferences from within the Edit drop-down menu. So if you click on Edit, preferences will be located at the bottom here. However, on a Mac, there's actually an additional drop-down menu called Photoshop. And when you click on Photoshop and you click the drop-down menu there, it will actually list your preferences under the Photoshop drop-down menu. Let's go ahead and open an existing file on your computer. If you click File and Open, the dialog box that appears will allow you to select from a variety of folders on your desktop or on your computer. Once you've located the folder and the image that you want to open, just double-click and it will open on screen. Let's take a look at the tools to the left of your canvas. These tools in the Tool panel actually really demonstrate quite succinctly just how flexible and sophisticated Photoshop is. If you look at the sheer variety of tools available to you here, you can see that there's quite a few to choose from. What's even more remarkable is there's even more than what you see here. At the bottom right of each one of these icons, you'll notice a tiny triangle. And when you click on that tiny down triangle, you'll notice that nested beneath the tools that you see are some additional tools. For example, this is the rectangular marquee tool, and nested underneath the rectangular marquee tool is the elliptical marquee tool, the single row marquee, and the column marquee tool as well. This is the same with every one of these tools. You'll notice that nested beneath them are some additional tools. And perhaps you've noticed, as I'm clicking through, along the top here, the options are changing. In fact, this is your options bar here. Every time you click on a tool, each tool has its own set of options. So for example, right now I'm on the brush tool. I'm going to click on the brush tool here, and if I go over to the options area, you can see that I've got a number of different parameters that I can set. For the brush tool, if I click here, for example, I can set the size of my brush by scrolling up and down or dialing in a specific number. I can set the hardness of my brush by scrolling up and down or setting a percentage here. I can also go through here and select some specific brush types. For example, this one, if I just hold and hover, you'll see that it says round fan, stiff, thin bristles, And then over here, I've got, what does this one say? Flat angle left hand pose. So there's all kinds of varieties here to choose from. In fact, I think we've got some chalk here. Let's take a look. What is this one called? Chalk 36 pixels. There's also some other options here, like opacity, which you can dial up and down, and flow, which you can dial also up and down. Now that's just one tool and all the different parameters for that tool. Let's take a look at crop. The crop tool, if you take a look, I'm going to select the first one. So the crop tool is what I'm looking at. And if you take a look at the parameters that I have to choose from within the options bar, I've got quite a few. Under original ratio here, I can change it from the original ratio to a 1:1 square. Or perhaps I'd like to change it from a 1:1 to a 5:7 or a 4:5. I also have some options here, like straighten. If I had an issue with the way the picture was taken, I wanted to straighten the image, I could do that here. I could also change right now I have it set to rule of thirds, but I could change it to the golden rule or the golden ratio, for example, or triangle. And that's these hairlines that you're seeing here within the image while I'm cropping. I'm going to cancel this because I don't really want to crop, so I'm just going to say don't crop. The next thing I'd like to point out is the Adjustments panel here on the right-hand side. The Adjustments panel allows you to do a variety of additional things, like for example clicking on your history. Right now I haven't done too much to this image, and so my history really just has open and the image itself. But as you're working, you'll be able to take a look at the history of what you're doing through your images. It also allows you to select colors and swatches. You can also do adjustments, perform adjustments onto your images, like brightness and contrast, adjusting the levels, the curves, and exposure. The most important area here, though, is your layers. In the Adjustments panel, you can actually go in here and play with your layers. Layers is something that we're going to be talking about in future videos, but this is the Layers panel right here. And finally, the last area that you can play around with is down here where you've got your FX. FX can be applied just by clicking on that, and there's additional options from within the FX panel. That's it for now. Next video, we're going to talk about how to open a new document, work with the text tool, work with layers, and work with colors.